Let me ask you something, and really think about it. Have you ever taken magnesium glycinate expecting to feel calmer, but instead you felt strange? Maybe a little dizzy. Maybe your heart felt off. Maybe your sleep got worse, not better. If that's happened to you, you're not alone. And no, it doesn't mean magnesium is bad for you. In fact, magnesium glycinate is considered one of the gentlest forms out there. That's why so many seniors use it for sleep, nerves, muscle cramps, or heart rhythm support. So why does it sometimes do the opposite? Here's the part most people never hear. Magnesium only helps if it actually reaches your cells. And there are very common daily habits that stop that from happening quietly. When magnesium doesn't reach the cells the right way, your body doesn't get calm. It gets confused. That's when people start feeling lightheaded, anxious, weak, or unsettled. And they assume the supplement isn't right for them. Or worse, that something is wrong with their body. But in many cases, the problem isn't what you're taking. It's how you're taking it. Timing matters. What you eat or drink with it matters. Hydration matters. And for older adults especially, small details make a big difference. Today, I want to walk you through the most common mistakes people make with magnesium glycinate. Mistakes that can turn something calming into something uncomfortable. This isn't about fear, it's about awareness. And before we dive into the first mistake on the list, take a moment to like this video and subscribe. This channel is designed for seniors to discover how simple changes can lead to a powerful, healthy comeback. Now let's start with the mistake almost everyone makes without realizing it. Mistake number 5. Let's start with a mistake that sounds harmless, but quietly cancels the benefit for many people. Taking magnesium at the same time as other minerals. This usually happens without any bad intention. In fact, most people think they're doing something smart. They take magnesium along with calcium, zinc, iron, or a multivitamin, all in one go, just to keep things simple. Here's the problem. Inside your gut, minerals compete with each other. They don't politely line up and take turns. They fight for the same entry points. And magnesium is not very aggressive in that competition. So when you take it alongside calcium or iron, magnesium often loses. That means it never fully gets absorbed. It doesn't reach the bloodstream properly. And most importantly, it doesn't reach the cells where it's supposed to calm nerves, relax muscles, and support the heart. What does that feel like in real life? You take magnesium every day, but nothing really changes. Sleep doesn't improve much. Cramps still show up. Nerves still feel jumpy. You start thinking, maybe magnesium just doesn't work for me. But in many cases, it never had a fair chance. This mistake is especially common among seniors because many already take several supplements or medications together in the morning or at night. It feels easier to swallow everything at once. But ease comes at a cost here. Magnesium works best when it has space. It needs its own window to move through digestion without being crowded out. When you give it that space, absorption improves, and the calming effects people expect finally start to show up. Here's the simple fix. If you take calcium, iron, zinc, or a multivitamin, separate magnesium by at least 2 hours. That's usually enough time to reduce competition and let magnesium do its job. You don't need to stop any other supplements. You don't need to buy anything new. You just need better timing. Many people notice a difference within days of making this one adjustment. Magnesium suddenly feels smoother. The body responds more gently. Sleep becomes more settled instead of unpredictable. And here's something important to remember. If magnesium hasn't been helping you, it doesn't mean your body doesn't need it. It often means it's been blocked from getting where it's needed. Now that we've cleared the first obstacle, the next mistake is even more common, and it involves something many people drink every single day without a second thought. Let's move on to mistake number 4. This next mistake catches a lot of people off guard because it involves something most of us drink every day. It's taking magnesium with the wrong kind of drink. Many people swallow their magnesium with morning coffee, afternoon tea, soda, or even a glass of wine in the evening. It feels harmless. It feels normal. But this small habit can quietly interfere with how magnesium works. Here's why. Certain drinks change what happens in your stomach and intestines. Coffee and tea contain compounds that reduce mineral absorption. Soda and alcohol can irritate the digestive lining or increase fluid loss. And when that happens, Magnesium doesn't move through the body the way it's supposed to. Instead of being absorbed smoothly, it gets partially blocked or flushed through too quickly. What does that feel like? You may notice magnesium feels inconsistent. One night it helps a little, another night it does nothing. Sometimes it even causes mild nausea or restlessness. Most people don't connect the dots. They blame the supplement, the brand, or their age, not the drink they used to take it. This matters more for older adults because digestion is already more sensitive. The stomach produces less acid with age. The gut lining becomes more delicate. Small disruptions make a bigger difference than they used to. Magnesium needs a neutral, calm environment to be absorbed well. The best choice is plain water, not hot coffee, not iced tea, not soda, not alcohol, just water. And timing matters too. If you enjoy coffee or tea, you don't have to give them up. Just create a little space. Try to take magnesium at least 1 hour away from caffeinated drinks, and preferably earlier if possible. For alcohol, spacing is even more important. Alcohol pulls fluids and minerals out of the body. Taking magnesium right alongside it can lead to weaker absorption and more side effects. Here's the good news. This is one of the easiest mistakes to fix. No changes in dose, no changes in brand, just a different drink. Many people notice that once they switch to water, magnesium feels smoother. The body tolerates it better. Sleep feels more natural instead of restless. The supplement finally behaves the way it's supposed to. And if magnesium has ever made you feel slightly off, this simple change is often the reason. Now that we've removed another barrier, the next mistake is even more common, especially among people trying to be careful with supplements. Let's talk about mistake number 3. This next mistake is very common, especially among people who are trying to do everything right. Taking magnesium on an empty stomach. You'll often hear advice like, take supplements away from food so they absorb better. And while that can be true for some things, magnesium glycinate doesn't always behave well that way, especially in older adults. Here's what happens. When magnesium hits an empty stomach, it enters the system too quickly. Instead of being absorbed gently, it can irritate the stomach lining or move through the intestines too fast. For a younger body, that might not be a big deal. But as we age, the digestive system becomes more sensitive. The result? Some people feel nausea, some notice loose stools, others feel weak, lightheaded, or oddly unsettled. And here's the confusing part. You took magnesium to calm your body, but now your body feels uncomfortable instead. That's not because magnesium is harsh, it's because the delivery was wrong. Magnesium glycinate works best when it's absorbed slowly and steadily. Food helps with that. Even a small amount of food creates a buffer, allowing magnesium to pass through the stomach in a more controlled way. This is especially important for seniors because stomach acid tends to be lower with age. Lower acid means minerals behave differently. Without food, magnesium can overwhelm the system instead of supporting it. Many people who experience magnesium side effects are actually experiencing empty stomach reactions, not intolerance. Here's the simple fix. Take magnesium with a light meal or snack. It doesn't need to be heavy. A small portion of food is enough to slow absorption and protect the stomach. You're not reducing its effectiveness by doing this. In fact, for many people, you're improving it. Once taken with food, magnesium often feels smoother. The stomach stays calm. The body feels more stable. The benefits, better sleep, less tension, fewer cramps, start showing up without the uncomfortable side effects. If magnesium ever made you feel uneasy, weak, or nauseous, this could be the reason. And here's something important to remember. Your body isn't rejecting magnesium. It's reacting to how it's being introduced. Now that we've covered food timing, the next mistake goes a level deeper, and it affects how magnesium interacts with your blood pressure, nerves, and heart. Let's move on to mistake number 2. This next mistake is subtle, and that's what makes it dangerous. Taking magnesium when your body is low on fluids. Many seniors don't feel thirsty the way they used to. Some avoid drinking water to reduce nighttime bathroom trips. Others simply forget to hydrate consistently throughout the day, and then magnesium is taken on top of that. Here's why that matters. Magnesium doesn't work alone. It moves fluids and electrolytes inside the body. When hydration is low, magnesium can shift balances too quickly instead of supporting them gently. What does that feel like? Some people feel dizzy or lightheaded. Others notice weakness or shakiness. Some feel their heart beating harder or faster than usual. A few feel sudden fatigue that doesn't make sense. These reactions can be frightening, especially at night. And here's the confusing part. People often blame magnesium itself. They stop taking it, or they lower the dose randomly. But the real issue wasn't the supplement, it was the lack of fluid to carry it safely. As we age, this becomes more important. Kidneys don't regulate fluids as efficiently. Blood pressure can change more quickly. Small imbalances have bigger effects. Magnesium taken in a dehydrated state can lower blood pressure too much, too fast. That can leave you feeling off balance or unsettled, especially when standing up or during sleep. This doesn't mean magnesium is unsafe. It means magnesium needs water to do its job properly. Here's the simple fix. Make sure you're well hydrated earlier in the day. You don't need to force water right before bed. Just steady hydration through the afternoon and early evening makes a big difference. When you take magnesium, drink a full glass of water with it, not a sip, not half a cup. This allows magnesium to move smoothly through the body instead of hitting all at once. Many people notice that once hydration improves, magnesium feels calmer. Side effects fade. Sleep improves. The body responds the way it's supposed to. If magnesium has ever made you feel dizzy, shaky, or uncomfortable, especially when standing or lying down, dehydration may be the missing piece. Now we come to the most important mistake of all. This is the one that causes the most fear, the most confusion, and the most late-night panic, especially in seniors. Let's talk about mistake number 1. This is the most common mistake, and the one that causes the most fear. Most people take it at night for a good reason. They're told magnesium helps sleep, relaxes muscles, and calms the nervous system. So bedtime feels logical, safe, even smart. But for many seniors, this timing can quietly backfire. Here's why. Magnesium affects how nerves fire, how muscles relax, and how blood pressure settles. When taken too late, especially if combined with dehydration, an empty stomach, or other medications, magnesium can lower blood pressure and relax blood vessels too much, too quickly. Instead of calm, the body feels unsettled. Some people wake up suddenly with a pounding or racing heart. Others feel a wave of anxiety that doesn't feel emotional. It feels physical. Some feel weak, shaky, or lightheaded when they turn in bed or stand up to use the bathroom. These symptoms are terrifying at night because the mind jumps to worst-case scenarios. But in many cases, this isn't a heart problem or panic disorder. It's timing. As we age, the body becomes more sensitive to nighttime drops in blood pressure. Hormones that help regulate circulation are lower. Medications for blood pressure or the heart are often taken in the evening too. When magnesium is added at the wrong moment, the combined effect can overwhelm the system. This is why some people say magnesium worked at first, then suddenly didn't. The body changed. The timing stayed the same. Here's the safer approach. For many seniors, magnesium glycinate works better earlier in the evening, or even with dinner. This gives the body time to absorb and use it gradually, rather than all at once during sleep. You still get the calming benefits. You still support muscles and nerves, but you reduce the risk of nighttime drops and sudden reactions. This doesn't mean bedtime magnesium is wrong for everyone, but if you've ever felt worse at night after taking it, timing is the first thing to adjust, not the dose. And that's the key message of this video. Magnesium isn't betraying you. Your body isn't broken. Small habits decide whether magnesium helps or hurts. Now let's bring everything together and talk about how to use magnesium safely and confidently going forward. Magnesium glycinate isn't the enemy. For many seniors, it can be one of the most supportive minerals for sleep, nerves, muscles, and even heart comfort. But magnesium only helps when it's used in the right way. What we've talked about today are not extreme mistakes. They're small habits. Things almost everyone does without thinking. Taking supplements together, using the wrong drink, skipping food, being a little dehydrated, or choosing the wrong time of day. Each one seems harmless on its own, but stacked together they change how magnesium behaves in the body. That's why some people feel calmer and sleep better, while others feel dizzy, unsettled, or worse at night. The difference isn't the supplement, it's the routine. When magnesium reaches your cells slowly, with enough water, at the right time, and without interference, it supports the body the way it's meant to. When it doesn't, the body reacts instead of relaxing. The good news is this: you don't need to quit magnesium. You don't need higher doses, and you don't need to panic. You just need awareness. Make one small change at a time. Give your body a few days to respond. Pay attention to how you feel, especially at night when the body's most sensitive. Now, I'd love to hear from you. Have you ever felt worse after taking magnesium? Or did one of these mistakes sound familiar? Share your experience in the comments. I personally read everyone. And if you know someone who takes magnesium and struggles with sleep, anxiety, or nighttime symptoms, share this with them. Sometimes one small adjustment can make a big difference. We're building a community here for strong comebacks. So subscribe, hit the bell icon, and trust me, you don't want to miss what's coming next. If this was helpful and you want to support the effort behind it, give this video a like. Join me in the next video. I've got more surprises waiting for you.